Hey everyone, Alex here from Japanese Masters, and today we're going to go over Minna no Nihongo, Lesson 6, Part 3, that is, Nani o shimasu ka? Okay, let's go ahead and dive right on into this. Okay, so as you can see, we have our structure here, Nani o shimasu ka? To translate this into English, we'll start off with that, is basically it's going to be asking something like, what are you going to do? It's not anything like urgent or anything like if someone was holding a knife and you're going to say like, what are you going to do with that? It's nothing like that really. It's more like, what are you going to do this weekend? Kind of, what are you going to do? So it's basically going to be used when you're going to ask someone what they did, what they're going to do, or what they're doing currently right now. Let's go ahead and break this down a little bit so that we understand each part a little bit more. We have our nani. That, of course, means what. I think we covered this in earlier lessons, this interrogative word. So before, where we had a noun o shimasu ka, where we're saying what we're doing, this is turning that sentence into a question. So now we're asking someone, what are they doing? Then we have our o, of course. That is going to be our direct object marking particle. It's going to say what the verb is going to act on. However, this time, because it is an interrogative, it is going to be a question. We're going to ask, what is the verb going to be acting on? Then, of course, we have shimasu, which just means to do. In the last lesson, we covered a whole bunch of different meanings that shimasu can have. In this one, when you're using nani o shimasu, it means what are you doing. It has that to-do meaning. And then, of course, at the end of the sentence, we have our ka, which is our question marking particle, which we've covered also before in previous lessons. And all that means is basically the question mark in English. That is how we're going to determine that we are asking someone a question when we're using standard Japanese. And one little thing I want to go over before we dive into the couple of examples I have on this lesson is that yaru can actually replace shimasu/suru in certain situations. Yaru also means to do. However, it has a much more colloquial feeling. So you'll see this one a lot in conversations and stuff. I know if you watch any dramas or anime or anything like that, you will notice that yaru will be used a lot when the people are having conversations back and forth because it sounds more colloquial than suru, and it's just, keep things fresh, mix it up a little bit. But I know the structure is very, very close to yesterday's structure. It doesn't require a lot of explanation. Let's just go ahead and dive into a couple of examples so that we really get an idea of what exactly this phrase means. Okay, so the first sentence that we're going to go over is, what are you going to do tomorrow? That is, ashita nani o shimasu ka? So to start this off, we have our ashita. That is just the Japanese word for tomorrow. And then we have our structure. So like I was saying, this is asking someone what they're going to do tomorrow. You could be asking a colleague maybe what they're going to be doing tomorrow. Tomorrow might be Saturday. Starting this conversation, just asking what they're going to be doing tomorrow. Or you could be asking someone what they're going to be doing tomorrow, maybe because you want to invite them to do something like that. It has very, very similar usage as we use it in English. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next example. These are really, really simple stuff. Okay, so the next example is, what did you do yesterday? So this is basically the last sentence, except instead of tomorrow, we have yesterday. Instead of the present tense, we have the past tense. So this would be, kino, nani o shimashita ka? So this one is asking, what did you do yesterday? So giving another kind of situation, maybe it's Monday, and you're asking a colleague what they did yesterday on Sunday, or what they did over their weekend, or something like that. So, you just come up to them and be like, kino, nani o shimashita ka? Hey, yesterday, what'd you do? This shimashita, I would also put in that it doesn't always have to be shimasu, as in it can be any form of the verb suru. So you could say like nani o shita ka, or if you're going to use shita, you'd probably just say nani o shita, to really symbolize the colloquial tense or stuff like that. So shimasu, you can use this any of the forms, polite, non-polite. You could even make this the keigo and sonkeigo versions if you needed to do that. And yeah, this lesson is very, very quick, I know, but it's a very, very useful thing. If you want to ask someone what they're doing or what they did, this is a great phrase for that. One more example, a little more fun example I want to go over before we end the lesson is if you're asking someone, what are you doing? I want to show an instance where you could say yatteru. So yatteru is used a lot when you're asking someone what they're currently doing. So this one would be, nani o yatteru no? The no used as a question marking particle is used a lot by women. Men generally tend to just drop the end particle and have a rising intonation of it. So they'd be, nani o yatteru? that rising intonation at the end of the sentence, kind of like, how we do in English. Like, if you're going to say, so what are you going to do tomorrow? You have that slight rising in the intonation at the end to symbolize a question and stuff like that. Yeah, but this is going to be yaru, which is a verb for to do as well, and then it's just going to be changed in present progressive, so yatteru. You might be wondering why it's not yatteiru. Well, in Japanese, generally when you're speaking, you drop the e from the whatever it is, iru. So if you're saying that you're doing present progressive tense of tabete iru, so to be eating, generally when you say it, you'd say it's tabeteru. Just because it's quicker, it's faster to say. And you'll sound very foreign if you say tabete iru. However, if you say something like tabete imasu, then generally you do have to add that in there, the e in there. But when you have something simple like this, like tabeteru or yatteru, you generally don't add that e in there because it makes it sound unnatural. And it's just, I guess you could think of it like a contraction, like in English. Like you don't really say do not a lot. You mostly say don't, unless you really want to emphasize it. But yeah, so, and just in case I didn't fully explain this, this is just a more colloquial form of the ka question marking particle. No is, I would say, a little bit lower on the politeness scale than ka is. And also, like I said, min will drop it and just add a rising intonation at the end of the sentence. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's lesson. I know, really short lesson, but it's a very, very useful phrase to have if, you just want to ask someone what they're doing, what they did, or what they're going to do. If you have any questions on this lesson, feel free to put them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. Until next time, guys, keep studying Japanese. All right, everyone. See ya.